Hello everybody, and welcome to the final part of the Kirby's Epic Yarn playthrough, because this is the extras. And when we left off, we hadn't quite fully finished off everything that Epic Yarn had to offer. Because, you know, we beat Yin Yarn and we saw the credits and it was all wonderful, but we've got a patch. And so we are going to be using that patch to unlock one of the final bonus levels in the game. And that is, when it turns up, Metamato Isle. What awaits us in this level? Well, quite a lot of fun, I have to say. And the reason I say that is because this level is full of Metamortex transformations. So you're going to be facing off pretty much the majority of the transformations that Kirby has gone through over the course of the game. And it's just really fun. I mean, one of the particularly lovely things is that this is the only level that contains the off-roader that doesn't make you race truck monsters. So it is just entirely just getting the joy of the off-roader. And you go between all of the Metamortex transformations, and it's just a nice way of closing out the game, really. Now, the music that you're hearing is that of Ice Cream Island from Kirby's Adventure, and it's just quite adorable. Now, this level can be relatively challenging because you have got to be very careful in terms of how you use the Metamortex transformations. I mean, particularly in this section, you've got the whole issue of the water creates platforms on the ground. If you leave them for too long, then they will just sort of vanish. And it's just slightly frustrating when that happens. But it's not here for that long, so it's all good. And now we get the wonderful dolphin. So yeah, one of the reasons why I do really like this level is because it closes out everything. I think I might have said that not very long ago. Because these are all things that you've been doing throughout the game, and it's just like a victory lap, so to speak. I mean, perhaps this would have been a better final level than what is ultimately the final level, because it does that whole thing of rounding everything off. But it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because it's just a whole lot of fun. And this is actually one of the few instances where getting the results you need with the train by getting all of the carriages is important. Because obviously you're only so far through the level, so you need to get them to the end if you want to get enough beads to get the gold rank. And there are things just all over the place here, so it's a bit like, oh, okay, there's things there, I mean, thankfully this is when I started to use the train in a sort of reasonably competent manner. Not ridiculously competent, but reasonably. It's still not my favourite Metamortex transformation by a long shot, but it's still quite fun. But either way, that went quite well, and now it's time for the last section with the spin border, which, as usual, is just great fun. It's ever so slightly very challenging to get everything that you need in this section, because you need to get onto the top path, and then you need to jump off of him to get stuff, and it just keeps going, and you're just like, ah! Because to get everything, you need to be following these rainbow paths, otherwise you're going to miss the CD at the end, and that was so ridiculously close. Like, I was just going, no! Ah! Ah! But I got it, it's all good. And I can relax. And yes, when I was screeching to myself of, oh god, I don't want to miss this, I was just gargling at the same time, because that's the way it goes. But now, it is time for the final level of Kirby's Epic Yarn. Which is, rather awesomely, the Battleship Halberd. And I'm pretty sure that I have been mispronouncing halberd. Oh no, I have been pronouncing it correctly. It is halberd. It just sounds wrong in my mouth. I don't know why. But yes, this is just going to be so awesome. Now, this is basically a star shooter level, which is actually quite challenging, because you have got to be very, very on the ball with where you're firing, where you're going, if you want to collect everything. And also because there are a lot of enemies coming at you throughout this level, so you have just got to be so on it. Anyway, music for this level is the Halberd's theme, which is Meta Knight's Revenge. Now, what's kind of odd is when you pick up the CD, it says that the music is from Kirby the Dream Land. But actually, the first time the theme was heard was in the Revenge of Meta Knight in Kirby Superstar. Which is obviously a bit of oversight, but these things happen. And seeing as we are in the final part of the game now, there's something that I want to bring up that really majorly frustrated me. So obviously the game came out in Japan in October 2010, and came out in America very soon after the Japanese release, so it was October the 14th in Japan, October 17th in America. So there was a localization complete. But for some bizarre reason, Nintendo of Europe decided that they wanted to change a few things. Obviously, they changed the narrator, and apart from the narrator, they just changed some of the descriptions for some of the items, which is fair enough. But annoyingly, it took until the 25th of February 2011 for Kirby's Epic Yarn to come to Europe. And it's just like, why? Why did you need to take so much time? You had the majority of the things sorted. And very little else about the game was changed. And a similar situation happened with Yoshi's Woolly World, where it came out in America and then just took forever to come out in Europe. Annoyingly, it wasn't quite so adorably wonderful as Epic Yarn was, so I was a little bit more, I wouldn't say disappointed, but we'll go with that. I was a little bit more disappointed with Woolly World because, as a game, it wasn't quite so glorious as I had hoped. Now, that is the section where you can be quite sneaky. You can go over the top and loop back round to the bottom to get everything there, but I just wanted to make sure that I was safe in my movements, because don't want to risk losing all my beads. I mean, I've already lost a ridiculous amount there, and that was not pleasant. Now, pretty much all of the collectibles in this mission are hidden in these massive cannons. So, I mean, that particular bit there, you've got to be very, very, very quick in your movements. And we get to face down a boss! Yay! He's not too difficult in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, I am losing a lot of beads, which I really should not be losing. But considering it's so easy to pick up all of your beads in this arena that really it's not a problem. And there we go. That is our final level in the game done. And this is the last time we're going to see the Kirby dance. Oh well. But what else have I got to show you? Well, there's a little bit of, well, not really Quilty Court, but, so, you see we've got this thing saying, well done, you've completed tunes, you've completed medals. Because basically, once you have completed all the levels in the game, you will unlock those. Well, you will complete those, obviously. But if we head back to Quilty Square, there is something that we'll see. Also, there is the ability to take photos throughout the game, and they'll be in that album, but it's not really a feature I've ever desired to use. But if you head over to here, you can enter Patch Plaza. Obviously, there are these bells which you can ring, which is just really fun to do. And this is the thing that will count your completion ranking. So we've got an entire thing of cast, which we are now going to go through. So you've got Zeke, Beatrix, Carrie, Buster, Mara, Angle, etc. Well, Angie, etc, etc, etc. So, I mean, I always love it when games have these sorts of things. Little profiles of characters, just making sure that you know all of their names. Although, quite evidently, I do not know all of their names because I am useless. When you play as many games as I do, or at least used to, although I've been doing pretty gosh darn well this year, the names of enemies don't tend to be the most important thing on the radar. Main characters, plot arcs, that sort of thing is where it's at. Enemy names, as long as you recognise what it is and what it does, you don't need to know what it's called. Until you start doing commentaries over them, and then it sort of helps. But yes, so in Patch Plaza you have the thing for the cast, you have a thing for movies, you have a collection count for the songs in the game, you have a collection count for all of the fabrics, all of the pieces of furniture. There's so much to collect in this game, it's unreal. And while I'm not going to get 100% in Epic Yarn, because that would require me to do all of the tenant challenges, which, as I said numerous times throughout the course of the playthrough, I am not going to be doing, because it would just take forever and just be that little bit too tedious, and it's just the same thing again and again and again and again and again. And while I will admit that I did something to that effect with Bayonetta 2, because I did all of the tag climaxes, because I went through every single tag climax mission, I went with all the characters, I did all the difficulties, except all of that sort of stuff. That game had a bit more excitement, shall we say, about it, in terms of its gameplay, and I think I probably had more to talk about with Bayonetta 2, whereas with Epic Yarn I've pretty much covered everything that's important. There's probably a few other bits of, like, the Iwata asks that I could have gone through, but it's all good. And now we are getting into the tail end of the cast here. I mean, I quite like that it's called cast rather than characters, because it just makes it feel like this is a performance or whatever. I mean, it sort of is, because you had the curtains and the narrator, and it is just also adorable. I will forever be in love with this game. It is kind of ridiculous, but it's just got such a charm that really I can't find much that I dislike about it. I just enjoy it whenever I play it, because it's just so wonderful. I don't know how many times I need to say that. But there we go. That is all the cast done and dusted. Now we can have a look at stuff here. As you can see, I've only found 87 out of 168, but that classifies pretty much everything that you can get from the levels. The rest of the pieces of furniture are in the shop. A lot of pieces of fabric are also in the shop, but not all of them. The rest of them are located in the 10 challenges. That's all of the medals. That's quite easy to complete. Tunes, also quite easy to complete. Obviously, you've got a lovely little sound test here, so you can just listen to them whenever the heck you like. And ba 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 da ba da ba da. Because why the hell not? And then obviously you've got films where you can rewatch any of the cutscenes. So that's all good. And if you leap on top of this thing, you can get up to here, where you've got a whole bunch of bells which you can ring. And they go down in notes, which is just really adorable. It means you don't really get much at all for getting 100%, but it's an adorable little thing to be able to do. Now, seeing as I have a ridiculous number of beads, I thought, well, let's see, can I actually purchase everything that the shops have to offer? And, funnily enough, despite having to go in and out and in and out and in and out, because it's the only way that the shops get restocked, actually goes remarkably well. Also, yes, I sped this up because why would I make you sit through what was maybe about 5 minutes of going in and out and in and out and in and out. But there we go, we have completed stuff, which means that there is only one bit of Patch Plaza that we haven't completed, and that's the fabric. Obviously, as I just said not that long ago, this only counts towards some of the fabric in the game. The rest of them you get from the tent challenges, but you'll be able to see which ones and how much you get from the tenant challenges in a minute or two. So, this is the end of the fabric shop. We can't get any more from there. So let's just have a quick peek back in Patch Plaza, because I just want to go through all the stuff. And obviously just the fact that we have 100% there now, I'm quite happy with that. So we've only got 44% of the fabrics, 80 out of 180, which is ridiculous. So there are 100 tenant challenges left in the game for me to do. That is why I chose not to do them, because that's just ridiculous. But we have got all 168 things for stuff, and you can use these to decorate your apartment, and that's quite nice. I will certainly be doing a final little decoration before the end of the game. So, unfortunately, obviously, I've got that one which is missing. But that covers everything that you can do. So, for the final bit of the extras, there's something that we have been ignoring, and that's Kirby's flat. Obviously, we picked up a lot of stuff, and I think it's time to give it a little bit of a sprucing up, don't you? So we'll leave the first two bits of furniture that we've had, because, I mean, I really like them, and I want to keep them, because they show how far we have come in such a long time. So first off, I think that probably works as the wall. This essentially feels like I'm decorating my room at home right now, because I mean that is what I'm doing. I'm redecorating to move into my sister's old bedroom. So it's like making sure I get the right paint and right furniture and all that. A little bit of interior design, which I never really do, but yeah. So, seeing as, you know, we are King of the Galaxy, we need to put all of the best stuff in here. I mean, definitely want to make sure that we have a TV in here, because, I mean, why would Kirby not want to have a TV? It's necessary. And we'll give it a little TV stand to sit on. Obviously, it's not the best positioning, considering the chair is, like, right next to it, but I'm sure Kirby won't mind. Seeing as, you know, my whole thing about the stellar way and liking stars, we'll go with that. A little bit of piano for the musical side of me. And seeing as, you know, we've got all of these plushies, I think we really need to include them, because this is Kirby's place. We need to make sure that all of his friends are here as well. So we've got a King DDD plush, we've got Waddle Dee, we've got Meta Knight. It's all great. And then, you know, seeing as there's no bed in here, I think we should probably give him a star bed, just to make sure everything fits. Unfortunately, you can't really put the bed away from the door, which you would do normally, because the headrest generally faces away from the door for whatever reason. And then, you know, seeing as I do commentaries, might as well stick a microphone by the TV. And also a little guitar, because I sort of play guitar. Not as well as I used to, but there we go. So, that is my room. If you hit the instruments, you can get little sounds to play, and it's just also cute. You can do whatever you like with this room, but this is my final bit of Kirby's flat, and that is the end of the extras. Thank you so much for watching this playthrough of Kirby's Epic Yarn. I hope you join me in the next playthrough or walkthrough. See you then.